How about them Cowboys?
I don't think we'll be hearing that line coming from Jimmy Johnson anytime soon, Mike. The team, the owner, the coach, the end.
We have mutually decided that I would no longer be the head football coach with the Dallas Cowboys.
Jimmy was looking for an exit door. Just when they reached the pinnacle, people just had a hard time understanding, why does this have to end?
We were all disappointed. We were all sad to see him go because he was a great coach, and he was our leader.
And it was stunning for me that he would walk away from a team that was fully loaded and ready to march on and win and three-peat here. So it was frustrating for me.
I didn't think it was fair. We'd always talked about team. We always talked about when we start winning championships, there's going to be enough success to go around for everybody. And then the people who were telling us that couldn't find a way to balance it out between the two of them. And the group of guys missed out on an opportunity to try and make history.
I feel very strongly that we've got one of the most talented teams that there is in the NFL today, if not the most talented team and one of the best that has ever been put together. I feel very confident that the continuity can be kept in place and be motivated with the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Barry Switzer. Let me introduce you to him. Barry.
Thank you, Jerry.
The energy and the electricity packed into that room that day, it was very tense. It was also very emotional, and then about halfway through it, Barry interjected some humor into it, and I don't know that Jerry was ready for it.
I hope I can do as good a job as Jimmy Johnson. That's what you're hoping, and that's damn sure what you're hoping. That's why I'm here. Well, I'm tan, rested, and ready. That's all I can say to you. I'm ready to go. I want to start tomorrow. Nothing's going to change, Cowboy fans. Get ready to watch the Dallas Cowboys be the best in the NFL. We got a job to do, and we're going to do it, baby!
I think Jerry wanted to prove that it wasn't all Jimmy's doing. I think he felt that he could bring anybody in, and with the talent that we already had, he could just plug someone in, and we go on to win that '94 season.
Well, Coach, welcome to your new home.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Jerry, and thank you for that opportunity.
This is going to be the most exciting, this is going to be the most challenging camp that we've ever been a part of. And not just because Barry Switzer's coaching the Cowboys instead of Jimmy Johnson, but also because we are in pursuit of a third straight Super Bowl.
I think Barry walked into the biggest no-win situation that any coach has in the history of the National Football League. He walked in with enthusiasm, and he walked in eager to go.
Yeah, this is what I look forward to. Really, it's not. All the attention and all that's not important to me. It's being able.
But I don't know that he knew the full depth of what a trap it really was. Because if he won with the players that were there that Jimmy had coached to this level. And if he didn't win to any level other than the Super Bowl, it was a failure.
Jimmy had the last say in things, and I don't know if Barry had the last say on that field as far as how the team operated. He was so hands-off, he allowed the coordinators to basically run practice. If there's a problem, he allowed them to make the adjustments with it.
I think Barry Switzer was smart, and he respected his staff and his players enough not to lie to them, to say that I'm in control, I'm making all the decisions, it's me, 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 me. He respected us enough not to say that. He realized that Mr. Jones was now moving and getting deeply involved in the organizations in every aspect of it, from talent to free agency to coaching, and that Mr. Jones ultimately will be making those decisions.
The atmosphere just wasn't the same, and I don't know, maybe that was one of the reasons that we started to lose our edge, because there wasn't that threat there.
I am ready today. I'm finally getting around to do what I want to do, and I'll be glad to get rid of you guys where I can go do it and say I'm going to do one interview a day, and that's it, and let me go coach. Let me go do what I want to do.
He was always very open. There were some bizarre things that you'd see on TV, though, during the course of our season when he'd be on camera.
They played with a lot of emotion today. They got after it. They spilled their bucket out there. I hope they didn't lose all of it. They were ready to go. It's not hard. It's not hard to be a football coach, especially when you've done it for 30 years. It's overrated. I mean, you people make the geniuses and the gurus and the myths out there. You all make them out to be more than what they are, and then when You know, it's your fault for doing it. Then when they begin to believe it, then it's their fault, right?
No, I never said, nor is anybody saying, that an assistant coach has a problem with Barry Switzer. What I'm saying, and what a lot of players are saying, and what a lot of coaches are saying, that assistant coaches are having problems with assistant coaches, and players want you to step up and stop.
I think you don't know what you're talking about, and they don't either, Dale Hansen. There is no problem here on this staff in the Dallas Cowboys. I promise you that.
Barry, again, had the philosophy, they're either for you or against you, and it's not worth trying to kiss their butt because they can't help you and they can't fire you. In '94, we were very, very good, but there wasn't that level of invincibility.
How about them Cowboys? We are going to three-peat. We are going to make history.
We still had such a talented, poised team that was made up of veterans in their prime that we could go out on form and, for the most part, handle anybody that we had to come up against.
Barry Switzer had not coached for 5 years, but his many critics were silenced when the '94 Cowboys marched to a 12-4 record and into the NFC Championship.
Deep ball to the middle. Here's Harper at the 45. He caught it. Left to the 40 of the Packers. Down the sideline to the 20. An inside move to the 10. He broke away. He scored. He scored. They've been waiting all year long to go play the 49ers in the championship game. It's exactly what everybody said would happen, and now it's going to happen.
Nothing was going to be measured in terms of success in '94 as to whether we won 13 or 14 regular season games in the NFC Championship game. It was going to be, did you beat the 49ers and did you win the Super Bowl? That was success, and everything else was bust.
My mindset going into that game, and our mindset as a team, was going in saying we had San Francisco's number.
We felt if we went out and played our best game and they played their best game, we'd beat them, but we didn't do that.
Back to throw again is Aikman. Some pressure, gets the pass away. Eric Davis picks it off. He's got a lane down the left side. 20-10, touchdown 49ers.
The game was won in the first 8 minutes of the game.
Back to throw is Aikman. Has time, sends it down the left side. Ball is caught and knocked down. That could be a fumble. Yes, it is a fumble. 49ers have the ball again. Tim McDonald.
21-0 deficit with 8 minutes gone in the game.
They give it to Floyd. He gets in easy, standing up. Washington grabs him. It's too late. 49ers, after 7.5 minutes of this game, lead 20-0.
The 38-28 defeat left the Cowboys devastated.
Well, if there was a honeymoon, or some semblance of a honeymoon for Barry Switzer, it ended that day out in Candlestick Park. The mood was complete and total shock. And I think everyone who was with that team from '89 or '90 onward shared that feeling. Couldn't believe we lost. Didn't want to get on the plane, didn't want to do anything because you knew tomorrow morning you're going to have to get up, go out to the front yard and pick up the paper, and it was going to say Cowboys drop NFC Championship game. Not only Barry and not only Jerry was going to be judged on whether the season was successful or not by winning the Super Bowl, period. And when that didn't happen, there was a very short list of people to blame, and it started with the two guys at the top.
While skeptics predicted a quick end to the Jones-Switzer union, the team rallied around their embattled head coach.
I think he related very well to players. He loved football players. He loved to talk to them. He loved to know more about them. He loved to know about their families.
He'd ask me about my wife and kids, and that's the type of person he was. He was more of a player's coach. He wanted to know how you're doing outside of football, and a lot of black players gravitated to him because he was open. Black players loved him in the past, and the black players in our locker room loved him also.
Red ball, twins.
1995 began with many questions. Had the talent level slipped? Would free spirits and free agency sink this impending dynasty?
Dog it. Let's go.
We started losing guys that were parts of that engine that we had built over those seasons that you couldn't replace them.
Free agency decimated Dallas. Lost were center Mark Stepnoski and high wire receiver Alvin Harper.
let's live with giving him the final offer, and then if he doesn't, then we'll all live with it and then go get the other guy. Was that where we went?
The owner was also the general manager. This two-headed monster was roasted by the media, which enraged Jerry Jones.
Meddling. I will tell you right now, if you have worked as hard as I have to get where I've got, and somebody says you're meddling in what you've done, that will make you a little defensive and turn you into something you don't like yourself. And I'm tired of defending that. The facts are that's not been the way it's been out here since 1989. It's not going to be the way it is going forward. It has helped us win since 1989, and it's going to help us win again. Just keep on going. You motivate me.
Shift. Red 18. Red 18. Hot.
Two mediocre drafts produced rookies that even the veterans questioned.
We got these young guys we drafted that are great players and come in. And everybody's not, you don't hit on every one of them. But I mean, he pumps up every single guy.
How you doing? All right. Good.
Bad omens turned ominous when all-pro offensive tackle Eric Williams shattered his knee in a car accident.
Eric Williams was one of the meanest guys I've ever been associated with on a football field. And I was happy to have him on our team. And he was never the same after his car accident.
There were more critics than champions of the Cowboys. This team seemed like a house of cards. But in a game of Texas Hold'em, the Cowboys still had a few aces up their sleeves.
Let's go, team.
The Cowboys opened the '95 season explosively on the game's second play.
The handoff goes to Emmitt Smith. His first run, 45-50. He's going to score. Touchdown, Cowboys. A 60-yard ramble by Emmitt Smith. Is he back? I would say so.
This is going to be a great year. Look at that. Second play of the game. They give us something we've never seen. We pick it up. Everybody gets a hat on a hat, and he goes untouched 60 yards. You had a real good feeling about what that season was going to become just off of that game and especially that play.
You kind of got the feeling that that game was one of those they're back type situations, and whether the country liked it or not, all these big star Dallas Cowboys guys are back in our face again on national television, and it looks like they might be pretty good again.
On Monday night, Dallas lost their all-pro cornerback for the season.
If Kevin Smith is out for any length of time, how much more important would that make the signing of one Deion Sanders to the Dallas Cowboys?
I don't care what it takes. You get me Deion.
Deion. Are you ready? I was born ready. Run, cowboy.
Dang, if I had 11 men like that, I could rule the world.
The Cowboys' quest to recapture their kingdom depended on signing the crown prince of cornerbacks. Deion Sanders' coverage of Michael Irvin was a big reason the 49ers won the '94 NFC Championship. Locked in a contract battle with San Francisco, Primetime was a free agent playing baseball with the Yankees. The Cowboys plucked this plum like low-hanging fruit.
There was a huge rivalry between us and the 49ers, so why not? You need a corner. We just lost, our number one corner, so why don't we take the one that was with the team that beat us last year in the championship game and won the Super Bowl?
In Jerry's mind, I think he felt that the only way we get back to the Super Bowl is that we take Deion Sanders away from San Francisco and put him on our team.
In Jerry's mind, he viewed Deion as a crown jewel, and if he could make it work financially, he wanted to do it. He and his son Stephen almost came to blows one night during the negotiation because Stephen was concerned about the salary structure of the club.
Who else comes on TV but Jerry? Jerry said Deion.
Bringing him in was not just adding the best cornerback in football, but it was adding another first-name superstar to an organization that people said, geez, don't they have enough? He was a funny guy. He once said to me, Rich, I don't love the camera loves me. I don't love money loves me.
So what's it going to be, Dion? Football or baseball?
Both, boss.
Both?
Both.
Offense or defense?
Both.
Both?
Both.
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 Pizza Hut? Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza?
Both.
Both? Both. So what'll it be, Dion? 15, 20 million?
Both.
Both.
Without Dion, who was injured, the Cowboys won 4 straight games, including an overtime thriller in Minnesota.
Hand off to Emmitt Smith. Left tackle running within 30. He may score to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown Dallas. This game is over. The Cowboys have won it.
The Cowboys finally lost in Week 5 to the lowly Washington Redskins.
Touchdown, Washington Redskins. The Redskins have done it. Upset the Cowboys at RFK.
Troy Aikman was accused of playing soft against his former coordinator, Norv Turner.
We heard the stories about, Troy going easy on Norv, which was, BS. I'm sure it was just the opposite. Troy wanted to prove to Norv that I can beat you without you.
Troy is all about winning. And I don't care if his mom was the head coach and his dad was the offensive coordinator on the other side. He's going to want to beat him. So it didn't matter that Norv was over there. The last thing Troy's going to do is do anything to lose a game, purposely to lose a game.
We invented the conspiracy theory in Dallas. I mean, that's what we're known for. When there would be a rumbling that Troy didn't perform at his highest level when he was playing against Norv, people in the locker room just rolled their eyes and said, that's garbage, that's ridiculous, that's baloney. It was just part of the myth and madness of what being around that era of America's team was all about.
The 7-1 Cowboys came to Atlanta, where Deion Sanders made his long-awaited debut against the team that originally drafted him.
This is our house. This ain't Dallas. This is Atlanta. Come in here. That's right. Dion who?
What better time for him to come back than against the club that originally drafted him back in 1989. So, you can't script some of the things that were revolving around that franchise for a while.
Had a little bit of a show business movie premiere type setting for Dion coming back to the Georgia Dome and playing his first game as a Dallas Cowboy.
The glitzy atmosphere turned into the Golden Gloves for primetime. The only neon in Dion's debut was on the final scoreboard.
Here's a deep drop for Aikman. First in, pump fake, going way down the field for Michael Irvin, bumping and grinding at the ball. He's got it. It's the ball. Touchdown, Cowboys.
There was blood in the water when the red and gold came to Texas Stadium.
This was heavyweight championship fight type stuff. There was a real sense of this is going to be a big game and this is going to be a great game. And it was in November and we had the best record in the NFC. And this was our opportunity to reestablish, tip the scale back over to the Dallas side, reestablish the Cowboys' dominance in the NFC.
All day long. Don't forget what happened last year.
It had some of that Ali Frazier type atmosphere for a football game, and it wound up being George Foreman and Joe Frazier. I mean, they knocked us out right out of the box, and it was deja vu all over again.
He's off and running. He's to the 40. They can't catch him. He'll beat them all. Touchdown, 49ers.
We thought we'd line Dion up on Jerry and the other corner go opposite the whole game, but they didn't do that. They moved Jerry around. They got him on linebackers. They created matchups of what they wanted to see there, and we really wasn't prepared for that, and it was hard to adjust.
We were all over the place. We were trying to play man-to-man, and Larry Brown was playing in a position where I was supposed to be playing a safety position.
Rice is lined up on Larry Brown. Rice ate Larry Brown alive in both games last year.
Larry Brown had no idea what he was supposed to be doing in the safety position, so that's how crazy it was.
You could just feel all the air going out of Texas Stadium and up through the hole in the roof. It was really that devastating because of what had happened the previous January.
This one was actually worse than the championship game. We never even got close.
Quick slant in. Ball is caught and fumbled. 49ers pick it up. Bringing it back is Hanks. He's going to go. He'll go in. Touchdown 49ers again.
Unbelievable.
Are we in San Francisco again?
Have we not seen this before? Flashbacks from last year.
So the psyche had changed. It went from us dominating them to them dominating us.
I think we just pretty much, we got out coached that game.
That was a point in the season where you started to think the Cowboys aren't what the Cowboys were, and maybe the pendulum of power has completely shifted to the Bay Area.
That San Francisco game was the first time in a long time that any of us ever felt that. They're just better than we are right now.
The devastating 49ers loss was compounded when tackle Leon Lett was suspended by the NFL for substance abuse.
We needed Leon Lett to anchor down that defensive line to get to where we needed to be, and for him to already have a problem, got help, and then to basically do it all over again. I thought he let down the team at the time, but at the same time I was concerned about who Leon was.
And he was with a group that some of the guys had already been in trouble. So it's going to take a very strong person to be able to decline some of the things that were going on at that point.
If there was a party going on in Dallas, the Cowboys were a part of it.
I think a lot of us craved the discipline that we had with Jimmy because we knew we had guys that you couldn't trust to be on their own. They were going to make mistakes if you didn't have somebody there that had a strong presence and instilled a little bit of fear in them. It just was a little bit too loose while Barry was there.
There was scrutiny and there was criticism because it was another opportunity to take a shot at our team.
The team was a media target, and every player became caught in their crosshairs. It was tabloid journalism, where every step and misstep was gleefully recorded. They were a front-page car crash, the paparazzi's dream team.
Look good?
One more.
What's this for, anyway?
Ironically, the team became the media. Many Cowboys, including the long snapper, had radio or TV shows.
Yeah, I was wanting to know about Deion's contract. How long is it? What are some of the terms?
You got that all written down already?
Well, I'm reading it right here off your little
Okay.
cheat sheet.
All right, go ahead.
Cowboys signed Sanders to 7-year, $35 million deal.
I do basically the same things I've always done and basically what all head coaches do. And I spend half my time, instead of being on the walkthrough out there today, I'm in here talking to you guys. You understand? That's the role of a head coach.
No matter what Jerry Jones does, somebody roasts him. If the Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl, Jerry Jones will be fried. Nationally, locally, in reality and in effigy, Jerry Jones will be hung by the Dallas-Fort Worth media, certainly.
There was not a week that the Cowboys could go without the press and just a free week. We were dealing with something every week of that season, and it was just a very difficult time for us, and a lot of guys didn't know how to handle it.
There were so many distractions over those times, during that time. The only time that we were really happy was playing on Sundays.
Happiness came in Week 12 when the Cowboys defeated the Raiders behind the playmaker, Michael Irvin, number 88.
Throws. Michael Irvin, wide open. Touchdown Cowboys. Oh, man, was he wide open.
Irvin was the heart and soul of the 95 Cowboys.
Big play. Come on now, find 88.
His combative spirit lifted him above the competition.
Throws it in the end zone. Ball is caught. Michael Irvin.
111 catches and 1,600 yards were not the measure of this man.
You get into those lulls during a season or a game, and he was the guy that could get you out of it.
They starting to say we can't run the damn football. They want a line set made up in that secondary. We'll run on them all day. Let's go. Damn day. All day. All day. All day.
Find the 88. You find the 88.
Hunt.
Aikman on 3rd and 13. Going for the bomb again for Michael Irvin in the corner of the end zone. He bobbles the ball.
Oh, what a catch. Oh, man. Dale Carter was there. The ball was there, and Michael Irvin stayed with it.
Wins over the Raiders and Chiefs gave Dallas a 9-2 record.
To put those two wins back-to-back after the totally deflating experience with the 49ers led people to believe we were on the right path. And it was like little did they know that the December from hell was right around the corner.
The December from hell began on a heavenly Sunday. The Cowboys lost once again to the underdog Redskins.
We had some fallout during that game at halftime. There was a little fight that took place between Larry Brown and Charles Haley after during the halftime of that game. Nothing got accomplished at halftime. We went right back on the field, and Redskins continued to stomp us.
Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
There was an unsettling feeling starting to permeate its way through the locker room that what is our identity, and can we beat somebody we're supposed to beat? We just got to take care of business in December and get it done. I want to say the temperature was 19 and the wind chill in the vet was like 7 below. And cold in Veterans Stadium is a different kind of cold. It's unmerciful.
The Cowboys burst to a 17-3 lead.
Throw to the sideline, intercepted by Larry Brown. He may score 40.
We felt that we had control of that game. I was able to go grab that ball and take it back, and we felt we had a nice cushion there. It was a game that we felt we shouldn't have lost and that we let slip away from us.
3rd and goal. Handoff to Waters. He's in. Touchdown. And the Eagles are back in this game.
Late in the game, with the score tied at 17, the Cowboys took a risky gamble on 4th down.
I remember Deion saying, it wasn't 4th and a foot, it was 4th and a ding-a-ling.
When you have the offensive line that we've had, and you had probably at that time arguably the best back in the National Football League, if that line can't push forward for 1 yard, then something's wrong there.
Here's your ball game. Barry Switzer makes the call. Eagles could win it if they stop the Cowboys here. They give it to Smith. He doesn't make it. They stop him. The Eagles take over on downs. The Eagles take over on downs. The referees are talking. We've got some problems. We've got some problems.
We lucked out. We got the snap off late. The 2-minute warning goes off before the play. So it looks as though we've dodged a bullet. But no, we're going to go back and we're going to do it again. And not only we're going to do it again, we're going to run the exact same play.
Here we go, 4th down. They give it to Smith and they stop him again. And this time they can't take it away from the Eagles. The same play. And I can't believe Barry Switzer goes with the same play.
Why would we call the same exact play and run it right back in the teeth of that defense?
We're in December. We're playing the worst football we've played all year. I mean, the media they crucified Barry.
Barry takes a beating. Barry doesn't call the play. He just says, go for it. Barry says, go for it again after the penalty, and the exact same play is called, but Barry takes the heat. He's the head coach.
We felt like it's a 90% least chance of making it, and we didn't make it, so that's a consequence of, and I'm Bozo the clown, Bozo the coach, and I have to live with that, so I'm the type of guy that can handle it. Everybody, including me, knows you're supposed to punt in that situation. I know you're supposed to punt, but there's times you believe in a football team and believe in the decision, you got to go win the ball game. We hadn't poured a drop the whole second half, hadn't scored a punt, hadn't done a damn thing. We're going to go try to get it done now.
In mid-December, there was a sense of sincere worry, I think, throughout the locker room.
Our psyche is gone a little bit now. We're not the most dominant team that we have been in the past.
Something's going on here that we haven't had a taste of for a long time. We got on the plane to go to Arizona on Christmas Eve to go play a Monday night game in Arizona, last game of the year. And one team got on that plane and another team got off it. We knew before we got off the plane, and the word spread through the plane, through the rows of the plane like wildfire, 49ers lost. If we go into Arizona and we take care of business on Monday night, Christmas night against the Cardinals, we can get home field advantage again.
The 37-13 win ended a roller coaster season. A wild, stomach-churning ride that saw them go from commanding to collapsing to champions of the East.
Hand off Emmitt Smith at the 5, up to the 3, to the 1. Touchdown Emmitt Smith. Hello record.
The 25th rushing touchdown of the year for Emmitt Smith.
That game was just so special to us. Guys were excited, and I think it gave us the belief in ourselves again that we could do it, that we could make it back to the Super Bowl.
Everything that happened back there, from the injury to Kevin Smith to getting beat by the 49ers to the 4th-and-1 disaster in Philadelphia, the Redskin losses, all that stuff, it's meaningless because guess what? We did what we set out to do when we were in training camp. So for the first time, there was kind of a positive vibe.
But the vibe from Troy Aikman was that of a prisoner walking the last mile.
Here comes the blitz. Anthony Davis sacks Troy Aikman.
Looked like he might have hurt his knee or ankle. He's shaken up. He's gonna go! Touchdown 49ers again! Aikman's looking left. Intercepted by Aeneas Williams. Touchdown, Arizona Cardinals!
1995 was less an odyssey than an ordeal for Aikman.
There's all you media folks getting in the way.
He was hounded by the press about his strained relationship with his head coach, a relationship that began under Switzer at Oklahoma. Aikman transformed the Sooners from a wishbone attack to a wide-open offense. But when he was injured his sophomore year, Switzer helped him transfer to UCLA, where he starred and became the NFL's #1 draft choice in 1989. While his relationship with Jimmy Johnson had been harmonious, it remained off-key with Barry Switzer.
I sort of knew that there was a little rift between the two, between Switzer and Aikman. The lackadaisical style of coaching that Switzer had. Troy was a perfectionist. He wanted to win games, and he wanted things to go exactly the way they went when Jimmy was there.
Troy is a guy, all he wants to do is win championships. He wants everybody to do everything they possibly can. And, there were times when we felt that Barry, needed to do more.
Am I happy with my relationship with Aikman? As I've told you before, I don't know if Chuck Noll had a great relationship with Terry Bradshaw or not. It wasn't important. They won 4 Super Bowls, right? That's the bottom line. I'm not going to drink RC Colas and double date and, with them. We're not going to do those things. I mean, it's not part of the game. It's not important. It's kind of like jockey itch. You can't ever get rid of the thing. You keep talking, everybody keeps bringing it up, and one you have to answer it. It rubs you raw.
The most volatile situation erupted when assistant coach John Blake told Barry Switzer that Aikman was criticizing just the black players.
Barry had called me in the office to talk about it. And what I told Barry was, hey, listen, Troy is not that guy. And we don't look at Troy, I don't look at him personally as a guy that's a racist or if he's just yelling at black guys. I told him, listen, that's what I expect out of Troy. And I went to Troy that same day after walking out of Barry's office and telling Troy, hey, listen, we got your back.
The guy that summarized it best for me was Charles Haley, and he said, look around that huddle. Most of the people that he hands the ball off to or that he interacts with in the offensive huddle are black. And it's his job to straighten them out if they step out of line, and if he doesn't do it, he's messing with my money, and I'll go in there and do it for him.
He is a perfectionist. He is the ultimate competitor. The most competitive person I've ever met. You don't want to disappoint Troy. You don't want Troy mad at you.
He had these physical gifts that were just God-given. The physical stature, he just looked like a quarterback. He looked like a statue to the game of football during the national anthem. When number 8 went out into the huddle, you knew there was a top-flight professional quarterback in there. He was just out there cutting people up, performing surgery.
Aikman's discontent rarely surfaced, and his bottom line was still accuracy, efficiency, leadership, and guiding his team to championships. All quarterbacks follow the same path, but the great ones, like Troy Aikman, leave different footprints on the game.
Cuts it up at the 5.
You knew his ultimate goal was to win games. That's what brought him happiness, being a perfectionist and winning games.
People who have that character trait where they're always looking for a way to improve or a way to get better and a way not to be satisfied generally have a positive impact on the whole organization doing well.
From Texas Stadium, deep in the heart of the Lone Star
little bit. Let's get ready to rumble!
The Packers had become the Cowboys' whipping boys, and the lash was applied on a 99-yard drive before halftime.
You just take the ball off the one and you go right down the field. There's nothing more demoralizing than that, especially at that critical part of the game.
It was a vintage cowboy march. Powered by the triplets, it drained the clock and the Packers' will.
Smith again, blocking again, and Emmett scores this time, and the Cowboys have taken the lead with the Emmett Smith touchdown with 24 seconds remaining in the first half.
That drive coming off of our goal line was absolutely huge. And, you know, it kind of is an indication of how far we'd come in a month's time. You know, back in early December, I don't know if we make that drive.
One more go, baby! One more go! Handoff Emmett Smith at the 15. Oh, look at that hole. To the 10. He'll score. Emmett Smith dances to the end zone.
The Steelers and the Cowboys in Arizona for Super Bowl 30.
Going again. Going again, baby.
Y'all are tremendous, and I really appreciate some of the things that you guys said to me personally. Some of you players did in the ball game. It really means a lot to me. It really does. And I want to thank our coaching staff. I want to thank these guys that all we have to put up with, and all the people outside. Hey, they're loyal. They stuck with me and fought their rear ends off, and I believe in them, and they believe in me.
All right, I got
The Cowboys looked to win the Super Bowl for the third time in 4 years. For Barry Switzer, the former Oklahoma head coach, his ultimate moment seemed no bigger than a college bowl game.
He kind of enjoyed just the circus atmosphere of it and didn't take it too seriously. And I think for him it was like a big bowl game.
That's why we're at the Orange Bowl. That's why Orange Bowl, my God. A big Orange Bowl. That's why we're at the big Orange Bowl.
Barry didn't pay lip service to taking care of his kids and enjoying his family. And he wanted them to enjoy this because he basically said to them, this is why I did this. This is why I put up with all this criticism.
My ex-wife's coming in, too. She told my daughter, my daughter called her and said, Mom, you want to go to the Super Bowl? She says, well, I lived with that for 22 years. I said, I guess I can come to the Super Bowl. And I said, well, come on, I'll put a rollaway in there for you.
Hey, it's been a long time coming, but we finally here. Let's go out here and play a complete game. Let's go from the Alpha to the Omega. Let's go out here, kick these Pittsburgh Steelers' ass up and down the field, and go home and enjoy it for a full year. Hey! Let's go now, come on!
The Cowboys' overpowering defense and picture-perfect offense overwhelmed the Steelers.
Aikman to pass on first and goal from the green. Wide open. Jay Novacek. Touchdown.
We've got control of the game. All of a sudden, there's a lull, and we don't have control of the game anymore.
First and goal at the 6. Slant pattern for the goal line. Touchdown, Steelers!
I remember the Steelers scored right before halftime. And it gave me a sick feeling in my stomach, and I went up on the roof of the press box. I was thinking, if I could get on that helicopter and get out of here, I would. And I'd go home and watch it on TV because I don't know if I have the stomach to sit around and watch the rest of this one, because these guys think that they're in it, and we let them think that they're in it, and so they are.
All of a sudden, they're back into it because we have a little bit of a lull during the course of the game, and then we got to hold on and have a little bit of luck help us out at the end. And Larry Brown happened to be in the right place at the right time twice.
My hands were so bad that as a rookie, he used to call me Edward Scissorhands.
He couldn't catch anything at practice. He had his biggest games against the best players on the biggest stages.
It was just a zone play for us there, and I think Neil O'Donnell, the ball got away from it, just slipped. He actually tried to hit a crossing route in my zone and ended up floating right to me. I said I was going to make sure I caught it, and I think at that time I was trying to score, get up and down the sideline, and get that ball in the end zone if I could. And it was a freebie, it was a gift, and gladly appreciate it.
Instead of burying the Steelers, they granted them a stay of execution.
Give the band. And Bam walks into the end zone for the Steeler touchdown. And we got a dandy in Super Bowl 30.
On the second interception, we were blitzing, and we were sending everybody. I think Neil recognized that it was a blitz check, and I beat the receiver to the spot. And again, just tried to take it and get it in the end zone from there.
10, out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
Hey, you get one more, you can run for mayor in Dallas. Straight up. I'll vote for you, dog, as long as you give me a job.
Second and goal from the 4. Watkins in motion, hand off Emmitt Smith on the right-hand side. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith scores.
And Dallas, your Cowboys are world champions again.
Most valuable player at Super Bowl 30, Larry Brown.
It was such a unique bundle of personalities, unusual, unpredictable circumstances, and results that I don't know that another season will come along like that again, and a team will wind up being on the platform with the trophy at the end.
Victory was final vindication for Barry Switzer and his psychiatrist's dream of a team. Somehow they had survived this turbulent season and had won Super Bowl 30.
I think that there was a collective sigh of relief mixed with a strong sigh of euphoria.
The joy just wasn't there, man. It was not the same. It was, thank God the season's over.
It was just a very, very strange year. A testimony to that team that we were able to get through all that and somehow find a way to win a championship. My position coach, Joe Brodsky, said it was one of the best performances he'd ever seen by a team. I asked him why, and he said because he goes, you guys won in spite of the coaching.
Cowboys would have made a great reality show. When you think about the characters and the type of people we had, from Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, to Barry Switzer as a head coach, to a unique owner in Mr. Jones.
I think it was a relief off Jerry's shoulders to say, hey, listen, Barry Switzer sitting up here at this podium, not Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, and he's the head coach of the Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys.
For Barry especially, a dramatic weight had been lifted off his shoulders, and he just wanted to get up there and say, we did it.
Are you having a good time now, Jerry? I want to tell you, we did it our way, baby. We did it. We did it. We did it.
For additional video content, photo galleries, and more from America's Game, visit NFL.com/America's Game.